Hi, I'm Kimberlyn, and I'm the owner and founder of Life'sWork Yoga. I'm actually here today because I promised to share a little more about my story and how I came to not only be a yoga teacher, but more importantly, how yoga saved my life. That's pretty dramatic, isn't it? In all transparency, a helmet probably gets the credit for saving my life. But yoga taught me how to live my life. In fact, yoga taught me how to breathe deeply, how to move freely, how to labor lovingly, and ultimately how to live vibrantly. And that's where my mission with Life'sWork Yoga began. That's how it came to be. But let me rewind a bit, because I wasn't always a yogi. In fact, I was a dancer and a bicyclist and an overachiever and a people pleaser. And as a result of that, I pretty much pushed myself in every capacity you could imagine. Pushed myself to the point that I crashed and burned every 8 or 10 years, oftentimes resulting in a hospitalization of some form for therapeutic remedial repair and recovery. However, the one of those traumas that brought me to yoga was a bicycle accident. And this is after crossing the country, 5,000 miles in one single summer. So I'm a very experienced traveler on my bicycle. But this particular day, I went out to celebrate what was actually the 10-year anniversary of my cross-country trip. And I took a spill. I was out of practice. My practice of cycling had been really set on the side as I raised children and built my then business. So anyway, the long and the short of it is, I fell. I landed on my head, dislocated my shoulder, and was on bed rest for about a year, couch surfing to bed rest, unable to really make clear decisions or even finish my sentences because of the damage that was done to my brain. And as a result, the damage that limited my body from its movement, consequentially more impactful for the brain chemistry, hence sending me into a depression. I was fortunate enough that a friend invited me to a yoga class, and in that practice I had an incredibly compassionate teacher who spoke in a way that gave me permission to be broken and still valuable, still complete, still whole. I didn't know that I had attached my value to my competence in the world until many months later. But it was really in that practice when I couldn't even do a child's pose because my head couldn't touch the floor and my shoulder couldn't bear any weight. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do a down dog. I didn't even know why things were still so bad for me. But over the time, over that practice, I began to reintroduce wise movement and, more importantly, an intimacy with breath through the teachings of my guides, of my teachers. I can remember distinctly when I accepted that I might always be a little bit broken. I may not resume my full capacity to think, my full capacity to move, my full capacity to be in vibrant living. There was a surrender. It wasn't a choice, a conscious choice, but it was okay, I can learn to be here and it can be enough. And that moment is when things started to shift for me, because I was no longer striving and I was no longer attached to the results. I was no longer pushing, but rather receiving. And sure enough, I got stronger. I don't know that I got clearer here, but I did have more access to the things and the thoughts and the ideas and the beliefs in my head. So much so that I was actually able to then go back to school. I'd already done all of my coursework, but write my doctoral dissertation, which requires the creation of new knowledge. And that is very difficult to do. when your body and your spirit is broken. But yoga enabled me to not only finish my doctoral dissertation, accept and rebuild my physical body, it gave me the tools and the language to redesign my entire life around the philosophies of self-care and intentional practices of showing up to move the body, to breathe deeply, to move freely, to labor lovingly, and to live vibrantly. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my story, and I look forward to helping you cultivate space for you to be in your body and in your life with a little more vibrancy, a little more, let's call it, inspired living. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.